NR MMA France. That's located in Le Gay Paris, ladies and gentlemen. And they have had a fairly good night so far. They're 1-1. They've shown that they have all the techniques, all the understanding through that luta libre sort of approach. Luta libre approach to fighting.
Now, Steve, we had online voting for this particular fight, and we had Prigent 53% of the vote, and then Ircow 47% of the vote. So the country is split on how they see this fight going.
Honestly, I think that's exactly how it should be, cut right down the middle, because you can't count out Matheius Ircow. Ronin MMA standout, originally from Poland.
Now,
this
Steve,
is the battle of Europe right now, buddy.
I have bad news for you.
No.
We might actually be able to count out Matheius Ircow. I had a little chat with him yesterday. He hasn't wrestled in 5 weeks. He's blown out one of the MCL, ACL, PCL, one of the big CLs in his knee. So he's been working around it the whole camp, but it's completely limited his wrestling. We've seen it before. We've seen fighters come in with a blown out joint, knee, and he didn't want to miss this opportunity. He didn't want to miss this fight. He didn't want to miss the chance to step in the cage with Benoit, Prigent, but he's got a double battle going on. He's fighting against his opponent and his own knees.
Fighting his body and his opponent. Wow.
Now, Matheius Ircow is 5-1, but 4 of those ones have come by decision. Seems to be his style. It's quite a grinding, aggressive fighter with fantastic cardio.
Which you think is quite surprising, because he's very adept in terms of his striking and mixing up his punching and striking. But he's just not always able to follow it to the finish. And like you said, if there's a huge handicap in terms of his knees, we might see him have to rely more on his stand-up and his standing clinch, because you're not going to be able to dip down into those takedowns. Similarly, on the ground, it's going to be hard to scramble with a knee injury.
Yeah, I don't know if I would take a MMA fight with a blown-out MCL, but Matheius Ircow is not a normal man. He's a lot braver.
He is a god. Or a demigod, probably.
He's always shredded as well. Looks in incredible shape.
Incredible shape, and I'm betting you any money that he's looking to punch his ticket into the professional ranks. He's trying to get him together, then he'll rehab his knee. But he looks all smiles right now as he steps up.
Now
gets the Vaseline, takes a drink, throws that gum shield in, and then it's time. These are the moments that I love the most. Like, between this and the first 30 seconds of the first round is my favorite times of an MMA fight, because this is like the build-up, and then they touch gloves, and then they just start throwing bombs at each other. That's the way I want to see it. And I think Ircow is going to try to get him out early, because the longer you're in there, the more the risk for injury continues.
Now, Steve, I feel like Benoit Prigent's got a little bit of a size advantage, as well as a knee advantage, and he's also 3-0, undefeated. We have
Polish is not the most phonetic language, so I think we've been saying Ircow wrong, but we will continue with Ircow. So, Prigent, Ircow.
Prigent versus Ircow. Prigent in the baggy shorts, Ircow in the skin-tight Valley Tudo shorts.
Nice. I want to see some of that Savat style.
Oh, some of that lucha libre.
Ircow staying behind the jab early.
Just can't take my eyes off the knees of Ircow now. No, he's coming in with a limiting, and he hasn't been able to wrestle in the camp. This is not what he wants.
Right off the bat, too. Big cartwheeling double. Ircow's got a hold of the neck there, but no real hope at a guillotine from that position.
I just feel like Prigent has just cut that little bit more weight. It just seems so physical. I mean, Ircow is a strong man.
Really hanging on him well here.
Ircow just keeping his back against the fence, not letting himself being flattened out. Trying to look to cage walk, get back up. Prigent trying to step over that Khabib-style leg trap.
Maybe trying
Very
to sneak
Khabib style.
Yeah, maybe trying to sneak around to the back here. He's got good head possession, does Prigent.
Ircow does a good job of getting back to his feet.
Prigent now has his arms locked in his hips forward as he drags it. Ooh. Ircow did so well to post up on his hand there just to stifle the actual slam that was coming his way. Prigent is wrestling really hard right now as he lands a thunderous knee to the thigh. Careening back into the center of the cage is Ircow.
This is what Ircow wants. We know he's got heavy hands, but he's eating shots at the moment.
Just a little bit more precision here from Prigent. The knee comes up in the middle.
I just don't feel like Ircow is moving as well as we've seen him move before. And also, you know, if you haven't been wrestling in the camp because of a knee injury, you haven't been having those rounds that have been pushing your cardio in the wrestling. Now we're seeing Ircow control a bit more. Oh, he's turned again by Prigent.
You said that physicality Prigent would be a factor, Chris, and you are 100% right.
Beautiful knees.
Similar to his teammates, he's looking to capitalize in every situation as Prigent. As Ircow kicks and stumbles. Big uppercut.
Lovely uppercut from Prigent.
Dirty boxing from Prigent. He's finding that right hand.
This is interesting.
This is that grinding style from Ircow.
This is what he likes. He likes long fights.
And now he's coming
He likes
low.
tough fights. Looking for a takedown of his own. We've seen him wrestle before. He does have really good wrestling. Nearly gets it.
Now he's on the back. Prigent doing well to separate the hands. Eats a knee up the solar plexus for his troubles.
Beautiful technical fight between two of Europe's best amateur fighters.
Very back and forth, very back and forth. Prigent, especially landing the right hands, was an advantage in taking it to the cage early. That big statement of that double leg shows the kind of power he's got. Ircow, you know, I know you say that there's a weight advantage, and it does look like a size advantage for Prigent, but Ircow still looks sucked. As my dad would say. He's got that, you see that cheekbone coming out the side of his face there, whereas if you look at Prigent, it looks like he has had himself a couple baguettes today.
Yeah, Ircow, we know he likes these long fights. We know he likes to get in the deep waters and make these things long, dirty fights. And this is, you've got to think, as the fight goes longer, it could start favouring Matheius. Ircow with the killer cardio. And he is a decision-eking machine.
I think it's a question of RESPECT, who's going to gain the respect first. And I think those couple of right hands really had Ircow showing some respect to Prigent. That's why he was shooting for the clinch there.
Oh, Ircow for a nice uppercut, just missed. Prigent with the pressure. Ircow ripping the body.
Just a little overcommitted there. Gotta be careful.
Ircow's corner is calling for him not to trade. They want him to be technical.
Prigent, we know, is looking for any opening. And they can counter quite well out of that gym.
I assume this is what Ircow wants. Wants to not be using that knee. Trying to get wrestling takedowns.
That was good. For a few moments there, he broke the tempo with his jab. Leading with the right. Ooh, good Eddie Alvarez style head movement off the cage there, and he finds the exit, pumps out the jab and drives him back. Nice.
Beautiful. Oh, leg lock entry.
Ircow seems to be attempting it as well.
There's double leg lock entry there.
He's on it. Now we need to... This is where he'll just be a bit slow on the scrambles there.
Yeah, it was just a high risk to sit back for footlocks in an MMA fight. It's become so popular.
We're seeing a crucifix entry here from... Ooh.
This could be terrible for Matheius Ircow. He gets his arms trapped up. Oh, he gets on top though.
Yeah, he circled to the right side there.
Beautiful reversal.
Needs to settle his weight. Does well there. Very good. Now he ends up in side control.
Very slick skills by Matheius Ircow to go for that footlock, sit back, and then still come out on top.
He had to be a little bit more clever here, trying to step over into mount. He's got to drive that knee up if he's going to get any sort of benefit from here, he's going to have to sit back into half guard.
Yeah, that mount entry looks a bit rushed, but now he's got locked his hands up for an Americano Kimura.
He's got a figure 4 lock, really hard to take that out, but he's using it to punch to the body.
Yeah, good mixed martial arts skills, switching between those jiu-jitsu attacks and the ground and pound.
And you see Prigent bringing that arm between his
That
legs.
was smooth.
Uses it to step over into mount. Very strong move from
Ircow has actually got his arm trapped as well. Oh, but he's going to use it to sneak out. Ircow looking for a choke. Oh, this is very interesting. This round has been
He's got his hands together.
Big part Ircow on top.
He's got to drive his hips forward. He's got it tight. Look at, they're calling for him to squeeze and drive his hips in.
That looks tight, Steve.
It does.
That looks very tight.
Prigent is trying to hold him up. We want to see Ircow drive his hips forward and flatten him out.
Ircow's got a great grip, but a weird body position to try and get the finish on
I don't
this.
think it quite has the choke that you'd like.
Short
and then the
time.
10 seconds warning. You don't want to see Ircow break away and start landing some shots here. But man, Prigent has had to fight very hard out of those positions and even hold up the weight of Ircow there in the second round. First round Prigent, second round Ircow.
There's a good argument, yeah. It's a round apiece going into this third.
You see a lot of this slick movement right here as Prigent is trying to take the back, trying to get into a crucifix position, but it's evident that Ircow just had his number there, and he looked for that Kimura trap, tried to step over into mount. He had it momentarily, and it was just Ircow, Ircow, Ircow from that point on.
And like we were saying on the walkout, Steve, like Ircow, he's had 5 wins. 4 of them have been decisions. If this goes deep, this seems to be where he prospers. He does so well at breaking people's will just by driving, just by determination.
But if you look at him now, Prigent is looking fairly relaxed, maybe a bit flustered, maybe a bit like, what the hell do I have to do to put this dude away? Whereas Ircow looks absolutely exhausted as he's in his corner. He's getting his arms massaged. He does, and that's got to annoy you because he looks exhausted, and I think he's going to be given the same output now that he was given in the first round. As he paces, he looks good. Maybe not quite as ripped as we usually see Ircow, but he's definitely in great shape. He's got to turn up the pace now, and I think he's got to sit behind that jab and keep disrupting the tempo of Prigent.
Will we see Ircow shoot again? It was very successful in round 2.
The high kick comes up.
Oh, Prigent looks tired, Steve.
Yeah.
Every punch is looking laboured.
Ooh.
Look, Ircow looks tired, but he keeps the pop in his shots.
I love his eyes, man. You look at Ircow's eyes, just like, yeah, man, where's that opening? Where's that opening? I'm setting it up. I'm setting it up. There's a bigger plan, right? Yeah, there it is. There's that plan, but he just didn't quite sell the punches enough. Gotta watch the knees to the head there.
Ircow going to war. Prigent driving him back.
Does Ircow still have the pop in the punches? Does Prigent?
And this is all coming down to this third round. It is anyone's round at the moment. I mean, Prigent is pressing a little bit more. Ircow is throwing big shots.
Just a minute ago, an uppercut claps the jaw together on Ircow as Ircow drops in on a single leg.
If he can complete this takedown, it could be huge.
And he's going to come up onto the... He's going to keep with it. He's got the head on the inside here. He's to pick that leg up and circle to his right. Well, he's going to pick the ankle, or try to at least.
Prigent going for a Kimura trap. Yep. Trying to lock up Ircow's arms, make it difficult for him to finish this takedown.
Ircow really needs to keep his hands together here. He's got a head right in the middle. He needs to pop it out to the side. He's got his head right between the legs. All that weight of Prigent coming down on top of him. He uses it to try to rip him away, but you got terrible posture there. It's hard to finish.
Yeah, even with the strength.
Now he's up on the single leg again. A little shot there from Prigent. We're in the last minute of this fight here. It is anybody's game. It's who's going to get there fastest with the mostest right now. And Ircow's got to get his head out of that position.
Ircow trying to pull the legs away. You feel like if he can get this takedown, it's could win in the round. It's been so even otherwise. Oh, this could be the one.
A lot of work there from Ircow. And now this looks like it's going to favor Prigent on the way down. And Prigent has done well. He's gotten into the judges' good books there by having to stifle the takedown, being defensive there, being effectively defensive.
Yeah.
And now we've got Ircow sprawling hard. Prigent really committing to this takedown spin, exchange of takedowns. 15 seconds left in this round, and we see Ircow come down, maybe with a guillotine locked.
Was that a mistake to fall for that guillotine? It could have cost him the whole fight.
He's up.
Incredible.
Yeah, this is a tough one to score. Very, very tough to score. Prigent, Ircow. Ircow's got his hands up. We know who he thinks did it, and we know who Prigent thinks did it, but who do the judges think did it? That's the question.
I'm starting to understand why the online voting was 53 to 47.
It's just so ridiculously tight there. You see the scramble there that in the second round that leads to Ircow getting a lot of domination there in the second round, but just can't quite finish the guillotine, can't quite finish what he was setting up. And there at the very end of the fight, struggling with the single leg, struggling to establish his own takedown, and then he just gets it done.
Being abused by the timekeeper.
That's all right.
Press the stopwatch, buddy. What are you doing?
Come on, mate. Come on. Bit of a nervous Team Ronin there.
Yeah, both teams. Prigent seems to think he did enough to take it. Definitely first round Prigent, second round Ircow. It's all about that third.
I think I would have liked to see Ircow sit more behind his jab. He was using it to really disrupt the tempo of Prigent. It was being very effective. I think we got the info. And we go to our announcement.
So after 3 rounds of action, we go to our judges' scorecards. And all 3 judges have it as a unanimous decision. For the fighter, in the red corner,
Benoit Prigent gets it done, and he brings it home to France tonight. I thought Matheius Ircow fought a very, very clever fight. He's just not able to eke it out when it was most important there in the third round. That must have been what tipped it, that takedown and that control and the defensive movements.